Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to WCS Media Day 17. I'd like to say a shout out to our sponsors, Walker Chevrolet, Buffalo Wings and Rings. None of this would be possible all year long without those guys. It's hard to believe that we're less than a month away to our first huge event, which I'd like to talk about real quick, real short, if you will. WCS Jamboree, first time that we've had all 9 teams from WCS Sports Conference on the field at one time, August the 11th. At Nolensville High School, we're extremely excited about this event. Starts off at 4 o'clock with Nolensville High School playing Centennial, 5 o'clock Summit versus Ravenwood, 6 o'clock Blackman versus Independence, 7 o'clock Fairview versus Franklin, 8 o'clock Page versus Brentwood. If you needed a reason or another reason to come, Walker Chevrolet will be given the opportunity to win not one but 2 cars that evening with a pass, punt, and kick competition for the fans. You can get tickets right now at gofan.co. Type in Williamson County Sports Conference and it comes right up. We're super excited about that. Let's talk real quick about the format of tonight. We're looking at about a 10-minute window. I'm sure we'll go over. Let these guys come out and talk real briefly about what's going on and have some players with them. And do some introduction and have time for you guys to ask questions if you have it. You can go back into the lobby. We have a backdrop up there if you need, if you want to get any extra interviews post when they leave the stage. We've got food for you guys out this door right here to the right, courtesy of Buffalo Wings and Rings. And I'm going to quit talking. I'm going to have somebody up that can talk a whole lot better than me. Our hostess tonight, please welcome Anna Glenn Grove, former Franklin Rebel, now University of Georgia Bulldog.
Once again, welcome to the annual WCS Sports Conference Football Media Day presented by Walker Chevrolet and Buffalo Wings and Rings. We hope that you enjoy your time here today with all the WCS Sports Conference teams and coaches. 2016 was a big year of firsts for this conference in football. All 8 WCS teams received a playoff berth for the first time in conference history and posted a 52-9 non-conference record combined in the regular season. The conference finished with a combined record of 64-15 and outscored opponents 2,185 points to 1,082. 7 out of the 8 teams won the first round of playoffs. That was the most in conference history. 5 of these 7 teams won the second round of playoffs, which is also the most in conference history. 2 teams were in the state semifinal game. Those were Independence and Brentwood. We had 1 state runner-up, Independence, with 29 consecutive wins. 2 regular season undefeated teams, Fairview and Independence. Matt Daniels took over as head coach for Ravenwood. Nolensville played in their inaugural season, and Summit makes playoffs for the first time in school history last year. So 2016 was a big year for this conference. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the Page Patriots first. And they have returning players Jacob Blandingham and Bubba Johnson, who's a sophomore running back, but they're losing Andrew Metliger, Daniel Calicut, Josh Kramer, and Turner Smith. The Page Patriots last year, their final record was 7-4, and they're moving from the 4A class to the 5A class this year. So please welcome to the stage head coach Charles Rathbone and the Page Patriots.
You know, I want to start, you know, and I'm going to try to keep my time to 10 minutes because I know we got to get back to practice. But I really want to take an opportunity to really thank, and you want to hear a football coach say this very often, but I do want to thank some of the higher ups. Like, you know, I've been here for 17 years in Williamson County, and I remember when I first came to Williamson County, athletics was kind of frowned upon, and it really wasn't taken seriously. And, you know, the resources and some of the things, you know, wasn't put into what it should be with the fields and the practice fields and even the coaching staffs and things like that. And I really think that one of the things that doesn't get talked about a lot is, you know, Jeremy Qualls, some of the things he's done for athletics in this county, and Dr. Looney and Dr. Farmer, when they put athletics on that mission statement, you know, we're going to excel in athletics. You know, I believe as head coaches, we all stood up and we kind of take notice of that. You know, when you make something a priority and you say that you're going to excel with something, you know, it's no longer just slide by. And I feel like the coaches around the county have really worked hard to do that, and it's a great honor to share this forum with the coaches. You know, you talk about Coach Coleman and Kreisky and Hughes and Webb and all these coaches, and Hester and of course Crawford. You know, I mean, they're great coaches and great guys. And what stands out to me is if you don't know them on a outside the field level, you know, they're guys that you can really count on, high character guys. And trust me, I learned over this last summer, you know, if you got friends, you know, they are some really true friends. Even if you don't go hang out all the time or whatever, they're guys you can count on. And I'm very appreciative of that. But I'd like to talk a little bit about our team, and I'll turn it over to these guys, let them talk. They're dying to talk. But, you know, I mean, coming up into 5A, being the third or fourth smallest school in 5A, it's going to be a lot of challenges for us. And, you know, we automatically worry about depth and whether or not we're going to be able to field enough 2D, 3D players to, you know, if we have an injury, you know, what we're going to do. But I'm really excited about this team. Probably one of my favorite teams I've ever had, you know, with Burdick and Bubba coming back after 1,300 yards rushing, and Van Landingham with over about 2,500 yards total offense. We got our leading receiver, Will Pierce, coming back, and we'll have Michael with a full year under him. And I'm really excited about our linemen. We got, you know, there have been years where we've lined up with 8 linemen. And I think this year we started about something like 15, 16 linemen. We returned 3 starters up front, all 3 starters on the defensive line other than Chris Dahl. I feel like we got a chance to compete, and that's what I'm kind of pushing to our players. You know, we're going to go out and compete. You know, we're not going to be an excuse. You know, we're not going to be a statistic, and we're not going to whine and cry because we're a small school. We're going to go out and play our hardest. We're going to do our best, and we're going to be hit, get back up, and hit again. And I believe that's the character in these guys, and I think it's things that we don't have to worry about with this team, that they're going to do those things, and they're going to excel, and they're going to know the playbook. We got to be a little bit better at knowing our playbook. We got to run the right routes a little bit better. And those are things we got to overcome in order to compete in 5A. But I do think overall, we'll put a competitive team on the field. You know, it starts with that first game here in a couple weeks in Fairview. You know, we feel like we owe those guys a little something. We're excited about it. You know, Coach Hughes is a good buddy of mine. But, you know, we know on that Friday night, we really don't talk much that week. So, you know, it's going to be a fun environment out of Fairview again this year. We're looking forward to it. And, you know, just excited to get 2017 off. You know, and I'm willing to take questions, and please feel free to ask these guys, but that's ultimately what it's about, is these guys.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about
I don't really need a point. I just thought it was. My bad. Talk a little bit more about the reclassification. You were down in 5A, you're in region 5A, and I know you looked at some of those schools and maybe with some of them, just a little bit about what you anticipate that bringing about.
Well, you know, every one of our sports at Page went up to AAA and the other sports, 5A and football, except for soccer. You know, there's some good things. I mean, it would have been a lot better to move up to 5A if Knoxville Catholic and Fulton and some of those guys would stay down to 4A, but again, they move up to 5A as well. You know, but ultimately, we move up. We're in there with Summit, Franklin County, and Shelbyville, some of those guys. And we scrimmage Shelbyville every year. We scrimmaged Summit. They put it on us in the spring, several years in a row now. You know, and again, you know, you're going to find athletes anywhere. And you're going to find players and good coach teams anywhere you go, no matter what system you're in or what classification you're in. So we're just looking at it as a challenge. It's an opportunity. I think we'll have bigger gates, which will ultimately help some of our sports. But us as a football team, we're just worried about who we play the very next night. You know, we kept the in-county rivals with Nolensville and being their first year in Fairview. We're playing Ravenwood this year, so you know we wanted to challenge the guys. I think they're looking forward to it, and I think they're preparing pretty hard for it.
You guys plan on running on a baseline for
Well, I don't want to give away too many secrets, but we were going to look at, we're going to be multiple on defense. We'll probably base everything out of a 3-4. You know, 3-4 to me is really, if you go back to look at 5-2, and everything we're going to do is try to stop the run first. And that's going to be our strategy and our philosophy. We want to stop the running game and force people to pass on us. And if they can do that, and they can beat us passing, then more power to them. And, you know, we'll tip our hats to them. But that's harder to do in high school than you know it is in college. The offense will be based out of a pistol. a spread set. We will consider going under center some this year, run the eye, so we'll be multiple both sides, but that'll be our true base with a 3 or 4 ounce spread.
Coach, how year did transition to Bubba have as a freshman last year coming in? How much did you see that kind of season again as a young running back?
It took him a couple weeks, but yeah, we kind of knew that he had it in him. He was playing behind the senior, and the senior got hurt, against Fairview. And he stepped up and did a good job all the way around. And I could pat Bubba on the back, Benny on the back, but without those guys blocking for him, and I think he'd say the same thing. He's not going to be able to get those yards. And I'll let him answer that question about whether or not he felt like he's prepared.
Well, it all started, he got hurt, so I just stepped up and filled in the spot, and I just made sure he didn't get it back. That's pretty much it.
Man, a few words. But to answer your question a little bit further, we did notice that he had the physical strength and the body to be able to handle the load like that. So, usually freshmen, they're not as bulky and stocky as he is. And, he's a strong kid when he came in.
So, giving you raising, it's very drastically different than what you've been, I believe. You spend the offseason just trying to get some sort of film so you have an idea before the season starts what some of these people like to do?
Well, high school coaching, it's a cutthroat business. If you find one person that don't like Coach Coleman, for example, they're going to be willing to turn over anything you want. But to be honest and being truthful, we didn't spend a lot of time trying to find film or any of that stuff. We worked on ourselves, and we worked on getting, bigger, faster, stronger, and getting better, and getting our depth built up and things like that. We did go back and look at some of the film that we played in last year and kind of self-scouted ourselves and saw what we were doing wrong. And we watched a lot of Fairview, obviously, because that's our first opponent. We got a little bit on Nolensville from scrimmaging them. We scrimmaged Summit. We played Shelbyville. So a lot of the guys that were playing, we already had film on, so we didn't have to go looking for too much film. And plus, it changes so drastically from season to season in high school. You just don't know who they're going to have. To me, Summit's going to run the ball with the wing team. We're going to throw the ball out of the pistol. So it's really about the players. So it's about who is now carrying the ball or who is now throwing the ball. And you won't know that until you see them on film this year. So, we didn't worry too much about that. And the new region, I think all of us here in Williamson County is looking forward to that hour and a half, hour and 45-minute drive to White County. We're pretty excited about that. So some things don't make sense, but again, that's out of our control.
Dave, with the year under your belt, what are your thoughts about running back for that slot and being in this?
I'm more confident. So far this offseason I've been much more, I would say, calm in the pocket. I've got a year under me now, so I'm able to handle the offense better, be a better leader. Coming into this year, we got a lot of younger guys stepping up to fill the spots. Like in the offensive line, we got 2 people, but our offensive line is going to be great, and I'm very confident in our offense and our defense and our team this year.
Jake, what did you work on in the offseason?
I really struggled last year with, personally, like throwing off my back foot and very small things that really affected my game. And I worked on those initially, but when we started out with the team in the summer, like Coach said, we were trying to go under center, and we started working on that quite often. And as a team, we've really been working on our playbook and studying and getting on top of our game so we're ready for Fairview in the first game.
Michael, I think that every game is
It's stuck with us quite a while, considering we had the trophy last year and they take it from us this year. And the fact that we're playing at their house this year just means that it means more to us, so we can get it on their turf.
How'd we do on time? Thank y'all, we appreciate it.
Okay, this is just a note for the media. Jeremy wanted me to tell you guys that we have people streaming this, so if you have a question, if we'll just pass around the mic so everyone can hear it, that would be awesome. He and I will have mics down there for you guys to use. Okay, up next we have the Fairview Yellow Jackets. Fairview's final record last year was 11-1. They made it to round 2 in the 2016 playoffs, and they are in the 3A region this year. Fairview has returning quarterback Cam Harris-Lusk, who added to their 11-0 season, and that was the first time they've gone undefeated since 1979. However, they lost dual running backs Jake Beatard and Hunter Caldwell, so this may hurt them in the offensive area. Please welcome to the stage head coach Chris Hughes and the Fairview Yellow Jackets.
I brought 2 more guys than I was supposed to because I like to break rules. So that was the first one I broke. I will say this before I start. I'm optimistic about this year. We had a really good season, but Jake Beathard and Hunter Caldwell were 2 big losses for us. These guys we have this year, I've got a great senior class, and we're going to continue to build with what we're doing. The scheduling that happened with us, I'll start with that. We're back in our same region, same opponents. We lost East Hickman, who dropped to 2A, so we're 1 opponent short, which means I had to schedule 1 more open game. It seems like every time we reschedule with TWAA is when we manage to have a really good year, which makes it terrible scheduling. When I'm 6-4, it was easy to get games. When you're 9-1 or 8-2 or 10-0, it's hard to get games. So, being thus, we're playing Waverly, who's probably one of the best 2A teams in the state. We're playing Greenbrier and White House Heritage, who are 4A teams. We're playing Page, who is now a 5A team, and we're playing Ravenwood, who is a 6A team. So our non-region schedule didn't get just a little tougher, it got a lot tougher, which hopefully my thinking and our coaching staff is it'll have us more prepared for facing teams like Good Pasture and Pearl Cone and people like that in the playoffs. Because in years past, it seems like our toughest games were always right at the start of the playoffs going in, and we didn't have that stiff test with some physical teams and real talented teams like we have here. If you want to know, we run a 4-man front on defense, and we mix it up on offense. I'm going to run whatever it takes to move the ball, whether that's power eye, tight end with twins, spread, empty, doesn't matter to me. Whatever helps us move the ball, and we base that week to week on what we watch on film. The guys that got with me today are all special players for us, and I have a lot more that I could run, but I want to tell you who they are. Cam Harris-Lusk, number 1, is our quarterback. He was a sophomore last year and started for me, and he's going to be a junior this year and has gotten progressively better, understanding what's going on, and plays with a lot of confidence, plays basketball on grass, I feel like. Brendan Nardozzi, number 22, is an all-around player for us that has had some injury bugs, as well as, I'm going to skip Tristan and go to 21, Christian Harris-Lusk, who's Cam's brother. He's a senior, and both are superior playmakers, and they're going to try to take that tandem from Jake Beathard and Hunter Caldwell and help us move the ball on the ground and through the air. We also have 2 junior running backs named Blake Russell and Trey Bell, who will get some carries as well, so it may be more running back by committee unless one of them just really takes off with it. So that's our plan there. Our big guy in the middle, which he may not be big to a lot of people, that's Tristan Mann, and he is a preseason All-State linebacker with had 100 and something tackles last year. He sets a tone for us. He's an A-gap filler. He's a hitter. And then the little bitty guy on the edge is Jeffrey Perez, who's always smiling and is a really, really talented kicker. I don't think he knows a lot about football at all, but he can kick it through the uprights, so he gets to play. And he hit the game winner against Page last year. That's got them all upset because it was a long field goal. And they had a real good kicker last year who hit one right before. So we always have a heated, real battle with Page. We had a real friendly 7-on-7 game last week, I thought, and it was great. But we know Page is our litmus test. In fact, after the Page game last year, I think it sets the tone for both of our teams, because as we get through that game, I knew Page was going to be really good when that game was over. And I told our kids that. I was like, that was a battle. And it tests us and gets us ready. Win or lose, it's getting us ready for our next, we got region opponents coming up after that. So, but we're going to give it everything we can, hang on to that trophy. Page being 5A is definitely going to present some problems. Like Coach Rathman said, he's got 15 linemen, and we have 2 or 3, so that'll be tough. But we are big up front, bigger than normal, and I'm hoping that we can get through. Jeffrey is a preseason All-State kicker in 3A, and is getting a lot of talks from different people, and going to a lot of camps. You going to Wisconsin this weekend? Going to Wisconsin this weekend. So Jeffrey Perez is somebody that a lot of people haven't heard of, but he's 100% on extra point attempts, which is just in high school alone. That's very important. So we know we get 6, we're getting 7. And then also from about 45 yards in, he's pretty much as accurate as you're going to find in high school. Very humble, very low-key, but really good player. So going from there, if you have any questions or anything or for these guys.
Chris, you talked about your schedule. Looking at it, you've got Ravenwood week 10 specifically, and while you boosted it up, were you concerned with playing them that close to the end of the regular season?
Really concerned, to the fact that I didn't schedule them originally. We had Creekwood on that week, and I felt like Creekwood was a good even team for us to battle. When Creekwood added a team to their region mode, they called me, Chuck called me and said, hey, sorry Chris, it's on week 10, the schedule's full. We were left hanging. The weird thing about it was I had just got off the phone with Richie, and he said, we don't have a game on week 10. Like literally he had called me 2 minutes before Chuck called me, and I said, we play Creekwood, sorry coach. So then I told my wife, I said, well, there's somebody working there, so I'm gonna call them back. We couldn't look for other people, but Richie was really having trouble getting games. So I said, hey, you gotta promise that if the game gets in hand, you take care of it. He said yes, and so we agreed to play, and then he left. That was great. So I never met the other coach. I'm sure he's here, but hope he honors that commitment. No, but our guys are looking forward to that challenge. You know, we know we're playing some bigger schools, and you know, Mo, we have been bitten, especially Christian and Brendan, 2 of my better players, and every year they've had, they don't just get little injuries, like don't get a twisted ankle, they blow their ACL, or they tear off their collarbone, and it's just been rough, because these are 2 really, my kids are really good kids, like, and I want them to succeed, but it's frustrating, and I know all of those guys go through it. When you get hurt, and you have to miss a season, you're sitting out, and like Coach Redmond said, that depth chart for us don't go 3 deep, so we're not only replacing him, we're moving a kid from another position trying to fill in. But yes, that is a big concern, and one of the things is I feel like Ravenwood is, you know, they're more of a finesse team. I feel like in the past, you know, they're not going to just line up and pound you, which they made us. But in looking at them playing games in the past, they like to throw the ball around, run screens, you know, off tackle stuff. So I'm hoping we can compete and at least keep it respectable there. So, but it is a concern. Anybody else?
Coach, after going 10-0 regular season, what can you build on that this year?
Well, with the schedule we've got, if we did it again, I feel like it would be a better record than we had before. And our goal is, what's our goal? What's our goal? State championship. Every year, you know, I've never reached my goal. So when they asked me, like they asked Butch Jones today, if this season was a failure, mine was a failure, because that's our goal. So until we reach the state championship, we'll always be a failure. But when we set our bar lower than that, I feel like I'm cheating these kids and doing it. Now, is it a realistic goal? I believe that's up to them. You know, I believe anybody can beat anybody on any day. And we're going to strive for that state championship. But the only way to be better than last year is to keep winning those games. Now, I would be okay going 7-3 and winning the state championship, so I'm okay with that. Because our goal is that, you know, if Page beats us, and Ravenwood beats us, and Greenbrier, you know, well, we still get through the 3A. Now, we have some you guys know. I mean, Alcoa's over there lurking, Milan's over here lurking, Pearl-Cohn's over there, so it's an uphill battle for us. I'm not gonna lie, we got 680 students. Most of the schools we play will have over 1,000, and the schools in our region will not, and we'll probably fare pretty well there. But like I said, I'm optimistic. Our line is bigger than it's ever been, so I don't know how that's gonna add up, but we do have some big country boys this year, which I'm real happy about. So one of them was at a cow show the other day.
So can you talk about your quarterback and what he can build on from last year to this?
Well, Cam is basically just took the football and just went out and played. He doesn't understand pressure or feel anything. He's real laissez-faire. He's a point guard on a basketball team. He's got a lot of playmaking skills. Where he's gotten smoother is with the handoffs, all the little things we do, hiding the ball, and we're still working on him playing a little more. I think sometimes he gets too comfortable and he likes to make plays with his legs when he doesn't have to. So that allows him to take some shots. And if you can tell, he's about a buck. What do you weigh, Cam? 150. He's got fat. He's a 151. That's what my right leg weighs. So he's got to avoid big hits. And that's what we're working on now. But we haven't got, it's hard to work on a lot. 7-on-7, we're just throwing against each other, but everybody's dropping back, we're hitting each other. You've got to have that line in front of you, those pads on, before we can really start working with him. But as far as fundamentals and skills, he's as solid as they come. What I like, and every quarterback I've had has been a 3-year starter, and that's really good for me because I don't have to reteach anything. He understands the offense. He used to start calling my plays before I call them, but sometimes it aggravates me. But a lot of these guys do that. Like, what's the first play we're going to run at 7-on-7? Okay, so they know kind of what we're doing. And Cam's experience has been invaluable, but he's getting better and better.
You said that he's last year kind of a runner for you guys, even take off from. Is becoming more of a just the quarterback you're one where you can sit back in the pocket and get relaxed and look for, you read the defense before maybe he takes off if there's nothing there?
No, he's not. He's gonna be that. I don't want to make it sound like he can't do that because he can, but if it's not there, he feels something, he's just gonna play football, and I'm not gonna restrict him from that. Like 9 out of 10 times it comes out. I'm the guy that yells no and the 3-pointer goes in. So until things go the negative way, I'm gonna keep letting him play football. Now he can do that, and our line is big, so if he sees and he's reading the corner on a smash route, he can make that read. And he's comfortable doing that, but if it's not there, he can also spin out, run. He gives us a good run pass option, and I like rolling him out. We're probably going to be in double tight and 2 wings and run straight up the middle every down against pace, but everybody else will mix it up and do things like that. So. Anybody else? Good? All right. Guys, you got anything? Y'all look for a season?
Kim, can you just talk about what you've worked on in the offseason and what you need to work on prior to the season?
Most of what I worked on in the offseason was my footwork and like feeling pressure and working with different guys and running routes with these guys up here. That's about what I did on my off time. And during the season, what I would probably need to work on is reading the defense better and knowing what to do before the play. Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys. The other thing I'd like to say is which this lady right here did such a good job at the Wilco. Like, she was really good. By the way, we didn't win anything in that, and I'm not resentful. But she got us right on the 3rd time. Fairview is the best secret in Williamson County. I don't think people realize what we have, but if you ever come to a game in Fairview on Friday night, you'll be super impressed. And it's the Yellow Jackets, it's not the Hornets or the Bumblebees, and we figured that out. But she did a great job. And y'all come out to a game in Fairview, we'll be happy to have all of you out. Thanks.
Up next, we have the Nolensville Knights, and this is their first year in competitive play in Region 4-4A. So they will be in Region 4-4A, and they will go against opponents such as Lawrence County, Maplewood, Marshall County, Spring Hill, and Tullahoma. Nolensville has returning player Brandon Wharton, Colton Dooley, Jack McWilliams, Wes Miller, Tim Stosky, and Wes Jones. Please welcome to the stage head coach Will Hester and the Nolensville Knights.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate you having us tonight. This is our second WCS Media Day. We didn't have to go very far to the last one, but it was a lot hotter outside. We appreciate the cooler climate out there, a warm one this morning. We're excited about competing for our first varsity season. We were able to play under the Friday Night Lights one time last year, the South Gibson Hornets, and they are the Hornets, Chris, but Chris is gone now. They are the Hornets. They came to see us last year. They needed the 10th game after Jackson Central Mary closed, and the state asked us to play them, and we did. And we took one on the chin that night, learning what it was like to play varsity football. But we played 7 JV games the rest of the year and held our own in all of those. And we're excited about the season. One good thing about not having a senior class is no one graduated. 100% of our kids that chose to return are returning. We didn't have to have any big signing day festivities, didn't have to throw any graduation parties, didn't have to do any of those kind of things. And everybody's back with us. We'll have that luxury again for another season. So we'll have a junior class through freshman class, right out about 80 players right now, the entire program. The kids have been working hard, finished up the 7-on-7 with a 2014 little round robin deal on Saturday that the rain kind of cut short a little bit, but we're excited about what the season holds us. Obviously, we've got the state semifinalists from last year in 4A Marshall County, so things aren't going to be easy. We got Spring Hill, who has 2 dynamic players who receive a lot of attention nationally, along with Tullahoma, Lawrenceburg, and Maplewood. So that's our league this year. We'll be excited to play in those games. In non-conference, we're trying to keep it as close to home as possible. Chris did talk about trying to find games to make it tough. We did call and ask to play, but apparently he chose Ravenwood over the class team with no seniors for some reason. I mean, if he's going to throw jabs, we are too. So we're excited. We're playing Summit this year. We're playing Page. We're playing Brentwood High School. Those are our 3 in-county non-region games, and we're playing Fayetteville High School out of Lincoln County and Lincoln County High School. So all Williamson County and Lincoln County non-league games for us this year. So there's only 2 teams in Williamson County. So I mean in Lincoln County, so we figured we'd at least be in the top 3 in the Lincoln County region by the end of the year. Lincoln County I guess, by the end of the year. So we were looking at that, so we thought we'd play both those guys. But these guys right here have been working hard. We're excited about what the season holds. Brandon had a great year last year for us, playing quarterback. Colton, we moved his position. He's moved from playing quarterback some for us last year. Him and Brandon split time to he'll be our starting tailback this year as well as outside linebacker. Jack McWilliams is kind of our quarterback of our defense. Jack plays safety for us. He makes all the calls, gets us lined up. He's the smart guy back there with the good hair, so he gets all the accolades. And then Weston Miller will play offensive line and linebacker for us. He's a physical presence, a great leader in the locker room. I tell him all the time, he's like having another coach in the locker room, the way that he holds these guys to a high standard. But we're excited about the season, and I'll turn it over to questions at this point.
Will, I think it's your 3rd game of the season. You've got Spring Hill down at their place, and it's
On TV. We're excited about it. It'll be a coming out party for the Nolensville Knights that night. Everybody in Middle Tennessee will get a chance to see it. They've got 2 dynamic players, the running back and the receiver, who have got a lot of offers and are garnering a lot of attention. So there'll be a lot of people tuning in for the game. We look at that as an opportunity to kind of put ourselves on the map, if you will, in front of that TV audience. It's going to be exciting. But Jay's done a wonderful job with their team last year. We expect nothing different out of those guys this year, and they'll be right there in the region when it comes to the end.
Brandon, how do you kind of prepare for this season, knowing that you're going to be QB1 for this team this year?
Well, I just got to know that I got to work hard every day. I can't take no days off. Really just work on my motion, get my boys, and throw a lot, go the routes, open the playbook every day. That's what I do.
Coach Hester, obviously stepping up to varsity this year. What's the #1 thing you're telling your guys? What's the biggest difference between varsity or junior varsity and varsity? Obviously faster. What's the one thing though?
I mean, it's all competition. You know, the speed of the game more than likely is going to be the big difference from what we saw last year, you know, which is why we've been competing against the Brentwood Highs, the Brentwood Academies, the Independences of the world in 7-on-7. That's why we invited all the teams we did to our 7-on-7, just so you can start getting the taste of the speed of the game. We're scrimmaging Giles County, who will be a grade 3A team. You know, we're scrimmaging the FRA, who's got a lot of talented speed back this year, than Franklin. So we're going to test ourselves all along the way, and it shouldn't be a shock when we roll in August 18th what the speed of the game looks like. But that's going to be the number one thing. Football is football. The A-gap's the A-gap. You know, the power play is the power play. I mean, none of that stuff's changed. It's all going to be about speed and matchups.
Coach, obviously with juniors and sophomores, you expecting a lot of these guys to start both ways this year?
Absolutely not. Actually, we're, you know, all of us, I think, are trying to build to have as many stars as we possibly can. You know, in a perfect world scenario, we'd have 22 stars. I personally think that it makes your team stronger, more cohesive to have as many guys starting as possible. But when you're playing August the 18th, and, you know, it seems like it gets earlier and earlier every year, and I know we all follow the NFHS calendar. They're kind of setting those dates, but you know, it's going to be warm. If you're starting a bunch of kids both ways, I don't care how old they are or how young they are, you know, fatigue and dehydration and cramping and all that stuff's going to be a possibility. So, you know, we're going to do everything we can to build depth. There may be some kids that play a bunch of snaps both ways. And there'll be some kids, you know, maybe a handful that do have to start both ways. But as coaches, we got to be cognizant of the number of snaps they're playing. We got to be, you know, mindful of how their bodies are reacting through practice. You know, if you've got a kid that's a cramper and he's cramping in practice, then he's not going to make it through a 4-quarter game. So you can't ask him to be a two-way player. You can't ask him to play 80, 90 snaps a game. So we also have to be mindful of that with our tempo on offense. We've always been a fast-paced, you know, snap as many times as we can, no little deal. We may slow it down and speed it up and change the tempo in accordance with how the game's going and how our bodies are reacting. It's going to be one of those deals that's going to be a feel thing that we're going to have to kind of feel our way through.
Wes, the one varsity game that y'all did play last year, you didn't get to play in. How tough was it to sit and watch that, and how excited are you to finally get on the field this time around?
I mean, it's always hard, just not being able to be a part of something with these people here, my brothers, you know. Yeah, just tough watching them go out. They fought hard. At the end of the day, it's all over now. Good to be able to play.
That to be said, Wes would have been the 33-point difference we needed that night too, if he was out. Jack, you ever had a wonderful time to speak? You got the microphone right in front of you. What are you most excited about for this season, Jack McWilliams?
I guess our defense, we got a strong up front. We got a good secondary going. We got some depth at safety and corners. We got some depth at corner. I'm just excited to not keep going against each other in practice every day. Ready to play other kids on Friday nights, and that's about it.
All right, Colton, you've been around me for 3 years now. What is your least favorite thing about Coach Hudson?
My least favorite thing about you is probably when you get mad at us and make us around like this morning.
You don't have to tell it like that. I don't get mad. I tell you I love you in a different way. All right, guys, we appreciate y'all having us. There's no other questions. We'll let y'all move on. Thanks, guys.
Up next, we have the Summit Spartans. They're already making their way up here, but their final record last season was 7-4. They made it to round 1 of the playoffs when they lost to Cane Ridge. They will be in the 5A region this season. As far as returning players, they have Ty Carter, who was a 1,000-yard rusher. He made that goal last season. And they lost Dalton Fisher, Tyler Palmer, Christian Snyder, and Michael Zakruski. Ethan Cash, who was a sophomore, will be the new quarterback replacing Michael this season. Summit looks to build off their first ever playoff appearance, so please welcome to the stage head coach Brian Coleman and the Summit Spartans.
How y'all doing? I want to thank Dr. Qualls for putting this on. Had to follow Coach Hughes and Coach Hester. They're quite talkers, so I don't know how long I'm going to be up here. Last year's season was a successful season for us. You know, we had a lot of firsts. We had great leadership last year out of the guys that were there. We had a lot of unselfish backs that helped our success out a lot. And she mentioned their names. We've got our line mostly intact coming back this year. Our leading rusher is back in Ty Carter, she mentioned that. We've got a lot of critical pieces to fill as far as the skill guys go and as far as our quarterback position goes. Defensively, you know, we're pretty much intact. We've got a lot of the secondary to replace, but some guys that worked really, really hard in the offseason that have competed and are competing for those positions. All the guys really worked very hard in the off season. So we're looking to get better this year, build on last year's successes, and build as a program. We're still quite a young program. There's a lot of things that that we want to accomplish this year, and these guys have a lot of goals set for them. So we're just trying to get better as a program. Any questions?
Coach, for this program to get into the playoffs for the first time last year, how much can you build off that and finally now, hey, that accomplishment has already been taken care of and now you can take that next step?
A huge monkey off our back to get there, to finally get there. And great experience from last year for these guys that played in the game. And a lot to take away from that game. We were up 21-0 at halftime against a great Canyon Ridge team, and they came back, and won that game. But a lot of positives and negatives to take away from that game and build off of that experience.
Coach, you have a new quarterback. What's your offense going to look like with Ethan Williamson?
We base our offense out of the wing tee. Now Ethan is a very good thrower and can also run the football very well. So we'll see without giving too much away. But we're always run first. But we also know that you have to pass the ball to be successful and to get deep in the playoffs and beat great teams. So like I said, we'll just base out of the wing tee and we'll go from there. It may be a few different formations and stuff that people will see. If we can throw the ball and be successful at it, we will do that.
Brian, you guys aren't in the same region of Independence this year, but you do play them obviously in week 2.
Very disappointed in that. Very disappointed they're out of the region.
How do you feel like that changes this rivalry, or does it?
It doesn't. I don't think it does at all. Right now they're the big brother. We may have been the only school in Tennessee, in Middle Tennessee for sure, that called them for a game. Because it's such a great rivalry for us, and these guys know most of the players for them. So it's a huge game for us. It's a measuring stick for us as a program too. They're kind of where we want to be, where a lot of programs want to be. But play them early in the year. We play them week 2. We've got 2 very tough non-region games to begin with. Spring Hill being the first week, and then Independence being the second week. So it'll be a great measuring stick for us.
Ty, how can you kind of build on your season this past year, especially with all the success you had?
I guess just to get better each and every day, and then hopefully we can win more games.
Coach, you expecting a pretty quick game between Spring Hill, especially with Ty in the backfield for you guys and Dante Smith over at Spring Hill?
2 great running backs, and Spring Hill has a great wide receiver too. And Ty's playing corner, so he'll have his work cut out for him the first couple of weeks playing against some great wide receivers, and I know he's up for the challenge, and I know he's excited about that challenge. Ty's worked really, really hard in the off season. He's went to a lot of camps, and what everybody says about him, he's a competitor. He competes in all the drills. He competes in everything he does, and right now is the thing for him is to be a leader for these other guys, and I think he'll do a great job doing that.
What do you have outside of Ty to run the football, especially with the wing team? There's several different guys.
Quite a few newcomers. Peyton Craig will be there. He was a backup last year. Quinn Sloggenhop was actually our kicker last year, so he's worked really, really hard. He has a lot of speed. His football knowledge is getting a whole lot better, so he'll be at a wing back a little bit. George Odomingu will be a sophomore. He is, yeah, that's going to be a mouthful for a lot of people. But he's doing a really good job. So, I mean, that's going to be our test this year, is how do these guys that really hadn't played much football, how do they progress? The faster they progress, the better off we'll be.
Until that kind of builds, you look at Ty to be kind of the workhorse and have to be the guy that gets the ball most of the time.
Definitely, or a distraction for other guys to do a good job, But our line is pretty much intact. We got 2 of the guys here. We've got 3 out of the 5 starters back. Cody Davis on the end, he is a starting tackle for us last year, and Trevor Keel right here on the right side end, he was a starting guard for us last year. Mason Leatherwood is back as the tackle. Then we've got a senior to step in for the new guard, and then a junior to step in for our center. So the line is going to be very critical for us. So we're hopefully anybody can run through a hole as long as it's big enough. If that makes sense. And also, I don't want to leave Robert out. Robert's our starting middle linebacker. He was a team captain last year. He did a great job for us.
Coach Coleman mentioned that you guys were one of the few teams that called Independence for a ball game. What are your thoughts about getting those guys on the field again?
I mean, just another great game to compete and try to get better as the season goes on. We know what we're going to get, and it'll be a hard-fought game.
Coach, is it easy to call them when you know it's a non-region game? It's not going to determine in the standings.
That is true. As a region opponent last year, it was again the measuring stick. So that was it's a non-region game. So it means a lot for your record, but also how are we this year? How competitive are we going to be this year? So yes, sir, it's a lot easier playing than when it's non-region.
This question for Ty. Do you consider yourself with all the running backs in Williamson County the best in Williamson County?
What was your question?
With all the running backs here in Williamson County, do you consider yourself the best? Troy Henderson at Independence.
I mean, personally, yeah. Pretty much everybody can say they're the best. But yeah, personally, I think I'm the best. But we have good competition, so you can determine that. But personally, I think I'm the best.
And Ty has not been getting very much recognition in 5A, but as far as the preseason stuff goes, but we're hoping by the end of the year he'll get a lot more recognition than he's been getting from the preseason, because I think he deserves it. Do I need to ask these guys any questions? We'll be good. All right, thank y'all. Thank you.
Up next, we have the Centennial Cougars who are hosting us tonight. We really appreciate you guys letting us use your facilities. Their final record last season was 11-2, and they made it to round 3 in the playoffs where they lost to Brentwood 24-21. They will move from the 5A region to 6A, and face opponents such as Brentwood, Franklin, Independence, and Ravenwood. As far as their players, they have returning offensive weapons, Trey Stewart, Tavion Fleming, Jacob Spears, Josh Rowan, and they lost a bunch of staples on their defense, such as Eli Katina, Devious Chrisman, Nick Bell, and others. So with this being said, please welcome to the stage head coach Mike Kreisky and the Centennial Cougars.
appreciate everyone coming out tonight. It's a great thing that Dr. Qualls and Williamson County does for the schools. It's an unbelievable atmosphere they have at each school on Friday nights. So really appreciate everything. And again, thank you for coming. First of all, I'm kind of like Coach Coleman. I'm not a big talker. Like to make it short and sweet, but I'll do the best I can. Y'all can ask me as many questions as you like. First thing I'd like to say is we graduated 25 seniors. So we have a lot of holes to fill this upcoming season. These young men on the stage have had 2 great senior classes ahead of them, so they have not really had to lead, but they've done a good job since January, embracing that role, doing everything that us as coaches have asked them to do. And they know that there's a lot of question marks going into the season when you graduate 25 seniors. Like we've been saying since January, all through spring and now the summer, we're not going to make excuses. We're going to come out each Friday night and give it our best, and we're not going to back down from anyone. We're going to fight until the final horn. And these guys have been doing a great job. We had a great practice this morning. Competed last week in the 7-on-7 tournament. Really proud of the guys and how they're growing. Another thing, we're probably going to start play a lot more sophomores than what we're accustomed to playing. And then I hear from my coaches every single day that I didn't do any favor about the schedule. If you look at our first 3 games were away, Ravenwood, Hendersonville, and Independence. I don't know who scheduled that, but they're not very smart. We got a tough year. We're fortunate to have Trey Stewart, a quarterback, coming back. He's becoming more of a vocal leader. Last year he just went out and did his thing and didn't have to be as vocal because of the senior class. But now he's stepping up, filling those shoes of the previous class and doing everything we've asked him to do. Tavion Fleming, receiver DB, didn't really have to play both ways last year. Played some in the secondary, was more of a slot receiver for us last year, but he's having to play both ways. And I tell him he's not going to come off the field. I don't care if you're about to fall out. We're going to keep him on the field at all times because he's going to play corner for us, going to play receiver for us. He's also going to return kicks. I don't know when he's going to have time to catch his breath, but he's going to be on the field at all times. Josh Rowan, he's another one. He's had to step up and be more of a vocal leader. He's quiet. He does everything that the coaches ask him to do. He goes out to play. He's very physical. And we just need him to be more of a vocal leader on the defense side of the ball. He played inside and outside backer for us last year, and so we continue. Hopefully, we'll keep him inside and don't have to move him. We move him outside, some due to injury last year, but he's doing a great job. He'll be one of the returners coming back on defense. Wyatt Grupa, Andy's going to play center for us. He's coming off a little injury right now, so we're hoping to get him back in a week or so and get him going up to full speed. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to have some sophomores step in. Trey Carlton's going to play some tailback and secondary for us. We also have Kevin Townsend's going to be another receiver DB. So we'll have a couple of young guys that have to step in early in the first week against Ravenwood. Also, you got some seniors that's going to have to step in and play a huge role. Ryan Newby, Zach Steer. I'm going to say something about Zach Steer. He's a young man. He's a hard worker. Right now, he plays a little bit of outside linebacker for us, plays corner and plays safety. He's kind of a rotator. He does everything that we've asked him to do, and he doesn't complain. He just wants on the field, and he's fighting tooth and nail, trying to find a spot on the field. And that's the seniors that we got this year. We're proud of them. They're going to keep working, keep getting better. Our goal this season is to get better each day and improve. So hopefully by week 5 and 6, we're clicking on all cylinders and hopefully getting ready for the playoffs. At this time, does anyone have any questions?
Man, you got a chance to get some guys some snaps at the running back position last year, particularly Wu and Miyagi, I guess, because you had some guys banged up back there. But talk about getting those guys back and the experience that
You know, speaking of Jariel, you know, I don't know why the head coach last year just wanted to focus him on defense, and then fortunate we had some not fortunate, but you know we had some injuries and had to throw him in there. And I think his first touch, I think he carried it for 60-something yards. You know, I was telling the coach who was the guy that wanted to keep him on defensive only. So he proved me wrong. You know, and he's grown and matured. He's another one like Tavion. He had hard time getting him off the field and getting him some breathers. You know, MJ will primarily be focused on defense this year, the inside linebacker. But we also had Trayvon Coffey's going to play some tailback. Trey Carlton, like I mentioned earlier, they'll also help rotate in with Jariel. Jariel and Trey both will play in the secondary safeties. So we're hoping offensively we can use them to rotate, and you know, whenever they need a breather, we can get them on and off.
Coach, you may play more players both ways than you would prefer, and is that just simply because they're too good athletes to have off the field?
Well, it's a little bit of both. You know, we were fortunate last year we had a little bit more depth. I say at skill positions, on offensive and defensively, we'll be able to. We have a little bit more depth than we do on the O-line and D-line. You know, fortunate I got one of the best O-line coaches in the state, B.J. Oliver. He's doing a great job with our young offensive line. You know, and he'll have them clicking on all cylinders hopefully by August 18th. You know, he's basically replacing the entire offensive line from last year. So, you know, we got Jacob Spears is pretty much Jacob Spears, Staples play, Ryan Staples, you know. Those two guys, you know, got a lot of snaps last year. But other than that, guys that have been playing offensive line got very few snaps.
Is it easier in year two where they know you, they know what you want, they know your system?
Yes, I say we're farther along now than we were last year at this time. You know, the guys know the coach staff. We didn't have much. We didn't have turnovers as a coaching staff, which we're fortunate. You know, I think they know what to expect. They know what we're doing. We're a lot farther along offensively than we were last year at this time. You know, just because we've been able to do more, the kids know more. This group up here, they're smart. So yes, it's been a lot easier and a lot smoother this time of year.
The new look in 6A, where the last 4 years has been there's been 32 teams, and probably a lot of people think 5A was probably more fun to watch with Independence, you guys, Brentwood, et cetera, King Ridge. But now all you guys are in 6A. How much more competitive do you think 6A will be this year with Centennial, Independence, Brentwood, King Ridge, all these other teams that were so good in 5A moving up to 6A?
I think it'll be real competitive. Speaking of, you know, our region is going to be tough week in and week out. And then also, like you mentioned, you know, Cane Ridge, they're on our schedule. Hillsboro's on our schedule. I know they're still 5A, but it's, you know, we've got a tough schedule. At 6A, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough region for us, for all the teams in the region. You know, there's not going to be any off weeks. There's not going to be any breathing room. So we're going to be ready each week and go out and do the best we can.
Trey, what if you worked on mechanically this off season, and do you feel like things are starting to slow down a little bit for you as you enter your second year as a starter?
Yeah, a lot this year I've been focusing on footwork and all speed, you know, lining up, focusing more on accuracy more than, you know, getting it there fast. And I think, you know, coming in this year, you know, I have 1 year, you know, you got that, and so now it's leading the team and getting it better for next year because, you know, the people from last year were really, really impactful for the team. So this year, being able to step up and play that role is a big part of the season. So.
Tavion, what do you anticipate it being like this year as far as you might not have been on the radar as much last year? People know who you are this time around. How do you expect to react to that?
I think it's just going to make my intensity more and just make it more fun for me to play with my guys and have much more fun I feel to have everybody watching and just put on a show for everybody.
Coach, you guys start off, like you said, with 3 tough games, 4 out of your first 5 on the road. What do you think that's going to do for your team as you get a little deeper into the season?
Well, hopefully prepare us for the long haul of the season. You know, it's going to be tough. You know, you open up with 3 road games. We'll be the road warriors the first 3 games, and then we're able to come home. First home game against Cambridge, and we got to go back on the road with Dixon. Again, I want to know who made this schedule. It's crazy. But it is what it is. We got tired of, messing with it. We could have drove 3 or 4 hours east, 3 or 4 hours west, but I thought we'd rather stay close to home. The guys that we're going to play in the playoffs, we match up with Cambridge's region. We scrimmage Smyrna and Laverne, so we match up with them. So I just didn't think, I thought it was good that we stay close. You don't have to travel far unless you're going to the semifinals. So we're hoping that's what we'll be able to do.
Tavion, can you just talk about being in this new Williamson region and how, from a rivalry standpoint, every region game outside of maybe Dixon County is going to be a rivalry game for you guys. What's it going to be like having every game, not only all the region games being rivalry games this year?
I think it's just going to be way more competitive and just way more intense out there. It's just going to be, actually, it might be way more fun playing against people people you played against all your life, and just people you've known since middle school.
Coach, no more trips up to Clarksville?
Sir?
And no more trips up to Clarksville?
No more trips to Clarksville.
That's a positive, I guess, probably gate-wise, when you look at your region of, every home game should be a good game for you guys.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons when looking at our schedule, and instead of traveling, 3 or 4 hours east or west, we looked at guys, teams that were close, looked and make sure they're fans, and just make sure it's a good atmosphere. We know the student sections and the fans here in Williamson County are unbelievable. We're hoping, bringing in teams like, Riverdale, Cambridge, and Hillsborough. It'll be a good atmosphere on Friday night for us.
Will you talk to your brother at all with Riverdale?
No, probably not. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all having us.
Independence High School finished their 2016 season 14-1 and lost in the state championship game to Farragut. They will be moving from Region 5A to Region 6A this season. Returning players include 2 SEC offer players TJ Sheffield and Kendall Scurry, and they are losing Brandon Hines, Landon Gaidry, Austin Copps, Cole Hunter, Alan Watson, and Hunter Dupree. So please welcome to the stage head coach Scott Blade and the Independence Eagles.
Okay, thanks for coming. I'll introduce my players that are here. Zion Katina, Brooks Howard, Nathan Cisco, and Harold Olano. Okay, so I'll give you a quick background and update to what's going on. We had a great off season, great preseason, had a great summer. We look forward to getting a chance to get back on the field after a disappointing loss in the state championship game. But we're excited nonetheless. These kids have worked extremely hard, and we're excited to see what the 2017 season has to offer. We lost some really good players, as did everybody else, but we also have returned several good players and several guys that we're excited to see step up to the challenge. So with that being said, we'll open it up for questions.
Coach Coleman was in here a little bit ago, and he said that he was probably one of the few folks that called you for a game. You guys playing them tonight, non-region game. How does that affect that game, the fact that you guys are in the same region?
Yeah, it's a huge game. It always is between Summit and Independence. Coach Coleman has brought that program from the ground up. He's done a great job. They're getting better and better. We faced him twice in 7-on-7. That'd be a great matchup and a great game for our whole community. So we're excited about that. Our whole schedule is, I've heard Coach Kreisky talk about the schedule. I think every coach up there I can imagine is talking about their schedule. Not a lot of people want to schedule the Williamson County schools, Rutherford County schools. There's pockets of Tennessee that are historically have pretty powerful football. So you're going to see, I think, all across the board, every week you're going to see some terrific matchups, for sure.
Coach, third quarterback in 3 years. How does Nathan differ from Bunch and Hines?
They're all individuals. You know, Nathan's special in his own way. He's getting better. He's going to be a junior. He's been with me for 3 years before he's actually taken the reins. So there's a lot of things he's had to learn from some really good guys. So as a freshman, he got to watch Andrew Bunch, who's arguably the best quarterback, most accurate quarterback I've coached in a long time. Get to see Brandon Hines, who even actually statistically had more yardage, and got to see a couple different guys, a couple different personalities, a couple different ways of doing things, but still be successful. So I'm hoping that helps. But we look forward to seeing Nate come into his own and put a stamp on Independence football his way.
Obviously missing a few key guys from last year on defense. Who are some guys you're expecting to step up on the defensive side of the ball?
On the defensive side, we're actually, we're missing David Demke had huge numbers, 2 years, huge numbers, and those sacks hard to replace. Michael Weathers was a 3-year starter for us all over the field at our defensive tackle position. Those guys are going to miss because between them they have 25 sacks, and those are big numbers. Hunter Dupree is leadership. Okay, Cole Huno was another one that was a 3-year guy for us. Montre Steele, Alan Watts. We lost some guys out there, but we think that we're replacing them with some good guys. They just need reps, they just need experience. Again, they've had, just like Nathan, they've had the privilege of watching pretty good guys in front of them, see how it's done, and we think guys like Tyrus Jackson, that middle linebacker to replace Hunter, got a ton of athleticism. A little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and a lot of athleticism. He's going to be a junior. So we're looking for big things there. Jake Huner started all 15 games at Sam linebacker. We'll move back to strong safety. Just incredible athlete, incredible work ethic, toughness, a leader in his own right. And we look for big things there. He'll be a junior. Colby Logan has started again as a sophomore. That middle linebacker, expecting a big thing there. Blake Bixby will be a senior, replace Michael Weathers at that 5 technique, our slant tackle. We need him to have a big year. There's a bunch more on that defensive side. Brooks Howard, that corner, but also will play some receiver for us. So there's going to be a lot of new faces, but we think we're replacing them with some pretty good kids.
What do you anticipate the impact moving from 5A to 6A to be for you guys?
You know, somebody brought it up earlier, you took a lot of the teams, a lot of the powers that be in 5A, you moved them up. And if we back it up 3 years ago, everybody was up there anyways. And, I think 6A, with all 32 teams making it, all 32 teams were not worthy of making it. I think you're going to get into a situation where you're going to have more parity, let's call it that. A very competitive 6A, as it should be, the most competitive class in the state. So I think that's what you're going to get. I know that's what you're going to get. And I also see that 5A, some of those teams in 4A and 3A have jumped to fill some of those gaps in 5A. So I think you're going to be top heavy. 6A leading the pack, the most parity, as it should be, as it should be.
Coach, you was talking about being back in the Williamson League with pretty much it's an all Williamson League plus Dixon.
Yeah, great league, and what it means for this whole county, it's huge. Every one of the coaches in our region and our league, there's good relationships, there's a healthy respect for each other, and when these teams play, it doesn't matter what any of them play. These are sold out games. These are people lining up on the field. Y'all cover them. They're excited. They're you're getting a little excited. They're fun to play in. They're fun for the communities to be involved in. They're fun for the schools. The whole schools are electric during the week. So it makes the whole anticipation of it great. And you know what? It's anybody's game. You know, we like to think, how do you create the advantage? And we always are looking for ways to tip the odds in our favor. And those type of games, and really, to be honest with you, our whole schedule, it is it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be third round playoff environment.
Coach, you kind of touched on this a moment ago, but outside of Summit, are many people calling you looking for regular season games?
No, we're kind of like Centennial, that we could have gone, and we did schedule Memphis East, so we have to travel there in a year. But it was just a couple that were the 3 hours away. We were able to get Oakland, and Oakland was kind of in the same situation. No one wants to play them, deservedly so. They've got a terrific program, so it's like, well, we're in the same boat. We're going to end up with 8 games or 9. Might as well. I mean, that's what people want to see. I mean, win or lose, that's what y'all want. That's what we want. That's what I want to see. I want to see those. I want to play those games, and I'm at the point in my career. Let's see what let's see how good we've become. Let's see where far our program has progressed, and we want to be in the games that matter. And like I said, on this schedule, there's nothing given. We know that. We're trying to convince our players of that. This every single week. It's going to take everything we got, and it'll take the full 48 minutes to come out.
Nathan, how big of a comfort level do you have knowing the type of weapons you have surrounding you this year?
I feel great. TJ, Isaiah, Collier, he's going to be a huge threat too. He's a little kid, but he's really fast. Hilderana, he's a comfort blanket. I can just throw to him. I can count on him to catch anything, and obviously Kendall Scurry. He's an awesome target to have as well. So I feel awesome about it. It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
Scott, with a young quarterback as pass first as you guys have been, do you feel like Troy will be more of a focal point, particularly early on?
Possibly. And it's not just Troy. We've got TJ can play. That jet sweep becomes a play that we can get some of our slot receivers in the action and help move the chains and help set up some throws, play action, the screen game, those high percentage stuff. It'll take time for Nate and the quarterbacks to get comfortable and experience, and that's the only way to get experience is to actually live it and breathe it and do it. The guys that have had the experience, guys like TJ, guys like Troy, and guys like Harold, that are some outlet type of quick hitters, high percentage hitters. Those type of things are going to be paramount for us to get this thing started. Okay, any other ones? Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Brentwood High School's overall record last season was 9-5. They made it to the 5A semifinals where they lost to Independence 27-24. They will move again from 5A to 6A this season, and they will play opponents such as Centennial, Franklin, Independence, and Ravenwood. As far as key returning and lost players, they have dual quarterback threats Carson Shacklet and Caden Dreyer, and they also have Notre Dame commit Cole Mabry. As far as lost players, Will Leone, Will Stanworth, Christian LaBrush, and Tucker Day, who was a U.S. Army All-American kicker for their team. Without further ado, please welcome to the stage the Brentwood Bruins head coach Ron Crawford and his team.
Good evening. We are excited to be here again. I know that Dr. Claus made this big deal here in our county, and we're happy to participate in these type of things, and excited looking into 2017. We've got 36 seniors this year on the Bruins. I don't know that I've ever had that many seniors at one time. I think when I left in 2011, we left them with 37 seniors, and in 2012 they had that. So this is our third year back. We've had some continuity on our staff. We've been able to make quite a bit of progress in the last 2 years. I brought 4 seniors with us today. From left to right, it's Cole Mabry, offensive lineman for us, plays tackle. Notre Dame commit, our young lady previously announced, Matthew Phillips, who's got an offer to Austin P as a punter and a kicker. Matthew's done a bunch of things for us in our football program. As a sophomore, he was a starting corner. His junior year, he played corner, running back, slot receiver. He's returned kicks. So he's done a multitude of things, very good athlete. This year he's going to focus on safety and punting and kicking. Our quarterback, Carson Shacklett, is here with us this evening as well. Carson, I think the biggest thing about Carson was 33 touchdowns. 19 passing, 14 rushing. He went down in the second round at Memphis Central down there. And our other quarterback, other senior, Caden Dreyer, got us through the next couple of rounds and did a fine job for us. We've taken Caden, and he's playing an H-back, tight end, kind of hybrid position for us. He's a 6'2", 231-pounder. We lost a very good target in Christian LaBreche last year. There was a 6'6" kid that we could play in the slot, and play him attached. So Caden's kind of going to fill that role, and Shaq hopes he doesn't get to play any quarterback. That means Shaq stays healthy. Also brought C.J. Grissom. By the way, Carson was our 5A region co-offensive player of the year, and C.J. Grissom, the other young man we brought, was the defensive player of the year in our league last year in 5A. He's an inside linebacker for us. And all these guys are good athletes, and better than that, they're really, really good students, and we're super proud of them. Offensively, we'll look similar as we have the past 2 years. Obviously, we're going to use Carson's ability to run and throw as we did last year. We'll still be more of a one-back look with Dreyer tight end. We feel like we have really good depth with wide receiver with Parker Bouillon, who's had 73 catches last year. He's a 6'4" kid that'll be a senior. And then we have a multitude of slot receivers that we think provide speed for us and can do some things in space. We think we overall have more team speed. We know we have more team speed this year than we've had in the past. On the offensive line, our center, Chris Moore, returns. He started 26 games in his career, so every game in his high school career, he's been a starter. Cole Mabry is the other tackle. Tank Stars, an offensive guard that played every game last year as well. So we've got a lot of experience back on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, Blake Myers is a defensive lineman that's getting a lot of FCS type schools interest, 6'2", 250. He's been a two-way player for us in the past. He'll only play defense this year. Knock on wood, if we can have it that way. Mason Condell's back at nose guard for us. Even though we're probably going to take a look at him at inside linebacker. He was a guy that got thrust into that position when we're sitting in the coach's office. Coaches will appreciate this when you're talking about who can fill a role for you, what kid's tough enough and can do it. And that's what Mason was able to do for us last year. Obviously, CJ back at inside linebacker. Outside linebackers, we graduated both of them, but we do have some veterans in that group, some seniors that have played some football. Matthew's moving, Phillips is moving from corner over to safety. Henry Glenn's another safety that had quite a lot of playing time for us as well. And at corner, Griffin Goodhart is the senior that played a great deal late in the season for us. Had a big interception down at Memphis Central to preserve that victory. As far as our kicking game, all of our return guys are back. Obviously, losing Tucker Day, an Army All-American punter and place kicker, what a great weapon that was for us. We only covered in 14 games, we only had to cover, actually tackle 6 kickoffs and 6 punts in 14 games. So unless you watch this play, you have no idea the impact that Tucker had on the game. also a guy that doesn't get much publicity, but we had a long snapper that signed with Murray State that here's how good he was. He was an afterthought. We never even thought about it because he was so good that I think Matthew fills a great role for us, taking over for Tucker. He's been in the fire before, so he'll do a great job with that as well. We only lost one staff member last year, Terry Ligon. He's left and gone to Hillsborough High School as their offensive coordinator. We replaced him with Ben Caldell, who comes over from Blackman High School. He's going to coach our safeties, and Jacob Norfleet is going to move over to wide receivers, and our wide receiver coach, Pat Curran, is going to coach our quarterback. So we've been had some great continuity on our staff in our 3 years back. We have quite a lot of experience, obviously with 36 seniors. We have 100 football players on our varsity roster. So we're again blessed with great numbers, and we're excited to open the season at Franklin High School. That's a rivalry game. It's unusual to have as an opener, but it was one of those we drew in week 7 or 8, fall break, and Coach Webb and I decided to play that as an opener. So we're excited. I think our guys are excited. I know the Rebels will be excited to be able to play that as an opening game.
Coach, with 36 seniors, there's probably very few underclassmen going to be even in the starting lineup, I'm guessing?
I would say our running back position probably will be underclassmen Carter McKechnie and Jordan Nicholas, 2 juniors that were JV players last year. Actually, Carter scored the winning touchdown, I guess, in that right check at Memphis Central. He really played second round, quarterfinals, and semifinals. So he got some experience late in the year last year. So the running back position, we'll have a guard also. Hunter Harrison will be a junior. And then we've got some juniors in the mix and at wide receiver as well. So we're pretty veteran, though. We'll have a mix of juniors and really probably one sophomore that's got a chance to get on the field a little bit as we go into fall camp.
How much did you toy with the idea of using both quarterbacks again this year, or was it just try to really fit well at a different spot?
We just felt Caden was a really good athlete, a good football player, and we just didn't want to look behind us and see him or see Carson, and how can we both get them on the field at the same time. So we really kind of tinkered with our H-back tight end position to make it a little bit more friendly for the type of athlete he is, and we just felt like he had to be on the field. And we felt like Carson needed to be on the field, so it's a good problem to have, but in fairness to both of them, we just felt like this could help our football team the most. Caden needed to be on the field along with Carson, obviously.
You guys are one of the many that are going from 5A to 6A. Can you talk about upping 6A, and this along with that being back in the Williamson League where you guys were a few years ago?
Well, the challenge for us is ultimately, when we got back here in our first year, I don't think they had won a Williamson County game in a couple of seasons. And the challenge for us is to win a Williamson County game, and we haven't done a whole lot of that right now. We lost to Independence twice last season. We split with Centennial. We beat Ravenwood, but we still that's going to be our challenge. Is can we play those county games and now they mean something? So obviously they created a lot of excitement. Our guys were more excited to play those than our region games, just simply because our kids were not familiar with the Clarksville schools in which we were playing. So I think for us to understand it's more than a rivalry game now. It's going to count down the road for playoff seeding and that type of thing. We'll just add more to it.
Coach, after coming so close to earning that state championship berth last year, what's your message been to your team throughout the offseason?
I don't know that our message ever changed, Sam. I tell our team that we have an opportunity to have a good football team this year because they know we've got a lot of veterans, a lot of experienced kids returning, and that type of thing. I think for us, it's, can we finish? We started slow, extremely slow last year, probably as much the coaching staff's fault as anything. We didn't do a great job of preparing and coaching. And once we kind of figured out what we were, as the season went along, we hit our stride and got better as the playoffs started toward the end of the year. So I think for us, it's about how good can we be? How good do you want to be? And with that many veteran players, we've kind of put it in their hands and said, here it is. here's the things we think that can overwhelm us or that we can't overcome. So the biggest thing for us is to create the team that we had, similar to last year. It's not last year, it's a whole new group. But can we create a great team? Can selfishness not creep in? Can me not being where I want to be creep in? Can we do all the things and play as units? Because in the past, I have a lot of history at Brentwood High School, even though we're only back for our third year. It's makes 13 overall. Our best success has been when we had great units, when we had great teams and great unity. So our challenge is, can we be a great unity? We saw a great example this spring with our baseball team. I don't know that they were out-talented anybody there, but we were just as good as anybody there, and they played with a true team mentality. And I think for us, it's been a great example of how we move forward in this thing and create a great team in which we share the football. We play team defense, and our kicking game has got a rival last year's.
This question is for Cole. How does it feel to go into the season? How does it feel to go into the season fully committed to Notre Dame, no distractions in your way?
It's nice to do that. I don't really want to worry about Notre Dame right now. I want to worry about, going through the season with these guys up here, doing the best we can do, and just really getting better.
Carson, what have you kind of worked on this off season?
Footwork, definitely. Mostly just getting stronger and adding some weight so I can take a couple more hits. So, but no, I'm excited for this season.
Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, Ravenwood High School couldn't be with us tonight due to team camp in Kentucky. They didn't make it back in time, but they finished their last season 7-6 overall and made it to round 3 in the playoffs. They will continue in Region 6A and play teams, once again, such as Brentwood, Centennial, Franklin, and Independence. Next up, we have the Franklin Rebels. Franklin went 10-3 last year, making it to round 3 of the playoffs where they lost to Whitehaven. They will be in Region 6A for competition. As far as key returning players, they have Max Ray, Kyle Means, Carter Hendry, Gentry Neese, Landon Carter. They have a big line with Max, who is an Ohio State commit, and they lost size and depth in their line with Cade Williams, Mitch Rossi, Connor Polk, and Zach Polisky all gone. Without further ado, please welcome to the stage head coach Johnny Webb and the Franklin Rebels.
She's basically already introduced my guys, but I'm going to do it again. Far left down there is Gentry Neese. Gentry is a slot wide receiver, returning starter, also returning starter in the secondary. But he started most of his games was on the offensive side last year. He did play some as well defensively. In the middle is Max Ray. Max returning offensive starter at right tackle. He's moving over to left tackle this year. And as she already said, he is committed to Ohio State. Pretty decent offensive lineman. Pretty good football player. We're glad to have him back for another year. And then to the right of Max is I would call him a returning starter. He did not essentially go out as the first quarterback for each snap. It was documented by history that we ran a 2-quarterback system last year, but now it's a 1-quarterback system, and it's Carter Hendry. All 3 of these are seniors. Carter, as I said, yes, they split reps, if you want to say, and truly we talked about it the way we did it last year. It was truly an alternation unless we had an injury or anything of that nature, which we were fortunate we didn't. We've tried to go into what we do offensively with 2 quarterbacks, and right now we've got one. We got a young one behind him So, but it's Carter's offense, and Franklin High, we're still running the same option offense with Carter leading. What I think is most interesting stat, I can't stand up here and talk about it. We have a ton of seniors, we got 24 of them, and we are excited about most of them. That what I mean by that is most of them contributed in some form last year, and so we're expecting them to take the leadership and continue on. We were fortunate enough to get to the quarterfinals. I still believe we let one get away from us down in Mount Juliet, where we could have been placed a little bit different in the playoffs the way it was last year. And maybe we've gotten Whitehaven around later instead of when we got them in the quarterfinals. But we did not play well, down there. But obviously with them going on and winning the whole thing, they were a really, really talented football team. But when you lay the ball on the ground and don't tackle as well as we did, we made it a little bit easier for them. So their goal and our goal is, to place ourselves and get ourselves in a position to get back to that point and give us a chance to take a shot at it, because that's who will be standing there when the West comes out. Interesting thing about us, I'll talk offensively. I already said that, we run the triple option. Every offensive run that we have has some form of an option based into it. And with that being said, between the two quarterbacks last year, if you put both of them together, their stats, they would have positioned for some possible all-state teams. And you got to cut them in half. If I had Carter's stats immediately right in front of me, it's somewhere approximately 600 yards rushing, approximately 6 to 7 passing, and then 10 touchdowns, which you would say is just average. But if you think about it, if you doubled it back, because that's what it would be with two positions. Now take all that step forward to 2017. Gentry is one of the skilled guys, only had 18 receptions. So now you can see where the youth of Franklin is going to be. It's going to be out there on the skill side, because we lost Alex, JP, and of course Mitch, and Rossi is the tailback, and so the production percentage is where we're going to be really, really young. Where we do have 3 returning starters is in the offensive line, alongside with Max. We've got Kyle Means and Hunter Waldron, who were both starters in there last year. And so with a quarterback that can run the football, we've got a slot that can carry it, and with 3 returning offensive linemen, we do feel like we're going to be all right offensively as we move forward. Defensively, lost a ton. Lost a bunch of players. We've got several that play, but a lot of, let's say, experience which you can't give to a person. They've got to get it on the field. Actually being on the field experience. We have 2 defensive linemen that have actual playing experience. I wouldn't call them starters. We have 1 linebacker. Actually, one of the defensive linemen we have now moved. His name is Price Wynn. You're going to hear his name. He's going to be a good outside linebacker for us. We moved from handing the dirt to he's going to stand up. He's an athletic kid to move. And then in the secondary, other than Gentry, which I've already mentioned, Garrison Glover is the only one that saw any action back there at all. So a lot of youth, and as Coach Crawford already mentioned, it doesn't open up. It's going to open up for a fun game, that's for sure. Because when you think about the Williamson County district as a whole, and all the teams that have been added and everything, you got Franklin High, which is still the flagship and the oldest, but then you got Brentwood High, and so that obviously that game alone is always one that's marked on both teams' schedules. And then for us to be able to move it was actually a smart move because of where we were going to end up playing each other fall break. So he said, let's just put it to the front, and it'll be a premier game right out of the top. And obviously, with what I mentioned, as I heard one of them mention coming in, or asking when y'all asked a question to one of the coaches, was because there's 6 teams in the region, and 5 are from Williamson County, so one of them staying home when the season's over. But then, that's a long ways down, and these guys and us, we want to be there and be right in the mix. And obviously, that first game out of the bat's going to, at least step one person or one team towards that, where they're going. Other than that, really, is there any questions anybody's got? I mean, I can talk about these three guys forever, because these are three good ones, man. I appreciate them working hard as they do, number one, in the off-season, and they're always there. And through the 7-on-7s, Max don't go to the 7-on-7s, but he wants to hang out and be around his guys. And I can talk about them forever, man. So any questions about any one of these three or about Franklin High in general?
Coach, with Mitch gone, are you guys going to have more of a bell cow running back again this year, or are you guys going to be looking to split carries amongst running backs?
Well, if we can maybe cut the leg off one of the linemen and put some weight on some of those guys. We do not have a running back like Mitch Rossi, size-wise, what we had last year. But I mean, he was a rather special type kid. What I mean by that is he's not the fastest, but for his size, he's pretty quick. And then so handing what we're trying to do offensively. Handing the ball to him, you expect to get 3 yards, or you expect to get it. The guys that we've got as committee right now, there's several kids. We've got Michael Crowther, Matt Cocker, and every one of them are younger kids who have seen JV action. Rashad Jenkins, they're all going to work in it until we figure out the 2, possibly 3, but 2 is what we'd like to get it to, and then work them in and out, especially early on.
Carter, with so many different weapons this year compared to last year, how has it been for you to be able to adapt to these new guys that you haven't really been able to work with as much last season?
Yeah, it's definitely different, but after the 7-on-7, like, we're all working together. We're making strides. Chancellor Bright, he's a young kid, step up, pretty athletic, fast. First year guy, Avery Jones, pretty good hands, good size, he'll be there. Gentry, obviously, my go-to guy right now for sure, just like us being together for so long now. And then John Connor Craig is another guy that we're looking forward to stepping up, and he's a junior.
Coach, 7-on-7, we're here. What do you guys get out of 7-on-7? I mean, like I said, you're kind of a triple option team. I mean, you're not going to really throw the ball like what I saw you guys do against at Nolensville this past weekend.
I believe my wife seeing this long he has. No, it really is truly. But what is good out of it? I mean, we try to think of it, because you are correct. I make a joke every time I go to a 7-7. Is it okay if we're going to pitch it back some? Is it okay if we're going to run the quarterback? And because that's what we do. However, like he mentioned, Chancellor Bright. Chancellor's a young sophomore who has potential, can be a really, really talented receiver in this county. That's a lot when you start talking about some of the receivers that some of these other schools have got. If you're able to run the ball, it allows someone like that to be able to get one-on-one and get the opportunities. Then vice versa, them guys working on the 7-on-7, if we are able, and if Carter's able to throw it to Chancellor, to Gentry, to John Connor, and some of the names he mentions, then it opens back up, because it's all a numbers game and options. Where are they putting the safety, where are they putting the extra defender, and which way you want to work. So if they have to put it to this side because of the passing game, those are the type of things we're using our schemes, but trying to find players that can help us move the scheme to one side numbers-wise.
Coach, how much do you like, or maybe even dislike, the new look of 6A? In the last few years, it was 32 teams. Everyone made the playoffs. Now you had, in your region, you got Brentwood Independence going up there, Centennial, you got Cane Ridge. I mean, 6A's got a brand new look than what we've seen. How much do you like that, or did you like the old way?
When we first had the league, when they first put it into 6, and the only 2 teams that were out was us and Ravenville, essentially. And then they got to group as 1. What I disliked about it was we immediately, probably pretty good in those 2 years, but we immediately lost a gate with Independence, because if you were at our scrimmage last year with Independence, we were talking some of those Clarksville and different odd schools, they'd like to have the gate we actually had for a scrimmage with Independence. We lost that type of stuff, and I really up front, immediately I disliked it. It was like, because it's really fun. Now, it's going to make it a whole lot more competitive because I do think, knowing right now, you take the 5 teams that are in this county, one of them is not going to play in the playoffs, and I would say you put that team into another region around in Middle Tennessee, obviously in the West, that they're in the playoffs. And so that's the dislike part of it, you know, as I see that part of it as someone could be the one that's left out. But the fun part, it's the way they set it up, only giving us 6 teams was tough because I think it was Coach Blade who's up there making the schedule. And, you know, and he made a joke about playing Oakland. Well, Oakland's Franklin's homecoming on October 6th. And so, you know, we were all constantly looking for football games, and that's what kind of made it a little bit more difficult with that. We good? All right, I'm telling you, I'm gonna repeat it just because that's just the old school part in me. These are 3 class men right here, and I appreciate them coming and running, because I know when I was in high school, Coach Counts would ask me, what are you talking about? I go stand me, you go stand there and talk. These are good guys, and I'm looking forward to these 3 leading our football team. We can't wait. August 18th, be here soon.
Thanks again for viewing our 2017 Football Media Day. We would like to again mention our sponsors, Walker Chevrolet and Buffalo Wings and Rings, for their continued support. We wish these teams the best of luck in their 2017 season, and there's food right next door for you guys. Thanks.